Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for the season premiere of the final season of True Blood, Season 7, Episode 1, Jesus Gonna Be Here. Now, let me explain something with True Blood. I've seen one episode of the show. I know that's horrible, but I saw the pilot, and I was gonna binge watch the show, but I had so much other shit to watch, and I started doing the classic movies, and I started doing, the Broadway soundtracks. I just didn't have time to binge watch True Blood. I wanted to, but I didn't have time to binge watch it. So, I'm coming in now, which is a horrible time to come in, but I actually was fine with coming in now. I understood what was going on. It wasn't like it was nothing I didn't understand or anything, but I love this premiere. It was a perfect time for me to come in because it was, it's the final season, so better late than never, as they say. But, I love this premiere. I thought it was an amazing premiere, and I'm really looking forward to the next episode, because I think this was a really great premiere, and I'm really looking forward to see how this final season will go down. I know a lot of people said the last few seasons have been very lackluster. They haven't been very strong, but this episode seemed very strong to me. So, the beginning is really intense. Right away, we have this huge brawl between vampires, werewolves, and humans, and Sam is trying to save people from the sick vampires, and Tara's mom is freaking out. She's asking the Lord to protect her from the evil beings. We do not see Tara in this episode at all, and I'll get to why in a second, but basically, eventually the raucous dies down, Bill arrives, and Sookie is looking at the aftermath, the dead bodies, and all the gore, and Jason refers to the crazy vampires as Hep vs. And Sookie Lafayette, I don't know how you pronounce his name, Lafayette, Bill, and Jason walk over to Tara's mom, and she's crying over a puddle of vampire guts because she says, they killed my baby girl, they killed Tara, and Tara's now dead. But my thing is, we didn't see Tara die, so how do we know that Tara's dead? I don't think that she's actually dead, I really don't. So Jason gets on the phone with Andy, and Jason tells Andy that it's a bloodbath over there. Andy leaves and tells his only surviving daughter to stay inside. Jessica shows up on the deck before Andy leaves, and Andy tells his daughter not to invite Jessica in. So everyone is gathering at the bar trying to recover after the attack, and Arlene and Holly have been kidnapped, which obviously that's not good. So I'm guessing they've been kidnapped. We didn't know what was going to happen with them. I'll get to what happened with them at the end of the episode, but basically, Bill says every human needs a vampire protector, which is pretty interesting that he said that. So Sookie leaves as she can't handle the telepathic voices, because, Sookie can read people's minds, and she can't handle it all. It's getting too much for her, and she doesn't want to handle it all, so she just chose not to. She didn't want to handle all the voices, so she decided just to not handle the voices. So yeah, she walked away. Then we meet a man named Vince. He comes over and calls Sam out on his shifting abilities, and he says he saw him change into a dog. Now, he, of course, is a shapeshifter. However, he is denying it at all costs, saying, oh, no, you don't even know what you are saying. Stop making up shit. You have no idea what you're saying, because that is not what happened at all. That is not what I am. You have no proof that that's what I am. And Bill then says he needs all the humans to go home, and if they're HEPV negative, to feed their vampire protectors. So Sookie is walking by herself through the woods, her phone rings, and it's Alside, and she doesn't answer the phone. Instead, what she does is she throws the phone into the bushes. Now, who does that? Here's the thing. Who would do something like that? Why would you do that, Sookie? Seriously. It's your phone. Why would you throw your phone into the bushes? It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe there was something that happened with her before, but I really don't know why she just decided to throw her phone into the bushes. That was really dumb. So Pam is in a Moroccan club bar, and she's playing a game of Russian roulette with a man, and they point the gun at their hearts. And Pam goes on about how she has no faith any longer, and as everyone she's ever loved has either died or left or died. And the man says that she is hollow and goes on about how he will survive, but then he shoots the gun and explodes. And that was huge. I mean, he literally just exploded. I was like, holy shit, that's intense. I mean, that was really big. But she's just there to kind of, start over, which I kind of like this plot overall. And she is actually searching for her maker, Eric. And after winning the game of Russian roulette, the man tells her of a man who might know where Eric is or what happened to him. So, the thing is, where is Eric? So meanwhile, back in Louisiana, Andy's daughter Adelaide talks to Jessica. As we know, he said, do not let her in. Do not change her. Do not let her in, and don't do anything to her. You know, she decides not to listen to him, obviously, though. She doesn't listen to him. Instead, what she does is she says she had a crush on. She asks Jessica about her boyfriend, and Adelaide says that she has a crush on Wade, who is Holly's boyfriend. Now, that's a pretty big thing there, because we know where Holly is at this point. Then a vampire approaches the yard and asks, what is she? And Jessica runs out to the lawn and says, and then she says that she's mine. We don't know what she's gonna do, but, like, for the rest of the episode with this plot, that's where it stays, is with this vampire and, Jessica. So at home, Sookie is drinking, and Allside then barges in, angry that Sookie walked home alone, and she says that it's her curse to know the truth all the time because of her abilities. She's still sad that Tara's dead, and Sookie apologized for being so distant, but she admits she'd like to be alone at the moment. Allside agrees and leaves her be. So basically, you know, she's very stressed out, especially about the whole mind-reading thing, and he realizes, you know what, she's stressed, it's better not to talk to her, and that's what he decided to do, is he decided to just leave her be, because clearly she didn't want to talk to him right now. So then Jason is driving in the car with Violet, and they run into Vince, and that's the man who ran for mayor against Sam. So he and a gang of people are trying to take matters into their own hands. It's really intense here. That was a really big scene. So Jessica's boyfriend, James, is Lafette's vampire protector, and they arrive at Lafayette, I don't know how you pronounce his name, Lafayette's house. Now, they smoke some stuff to get altered, and James tells Elle some stories. He tells him about his vampire creation story, and then Lafayette allows him to feed up from his wrist. So Jason and Violet pull over on the side of the road, and Jason is very angry and feeling distraught, and she's like, why are you so angry? And he's so angry because him and Violet have not had sex yet, and then she's like, oh, I've been waiting for you to say that. They then strip off their clothes and have sex right there in the road. But you know what? It's fine because he's the sheriff, so it doesn't matter. Because he's the sheriff. They can't get arrested for public nudity. Who's he going to arrest, himself? Like, seriously. I thought that was kind of funny, though. So, the vampires are trying to get Adylin, and Jessica tells Adylin to drink some of her blood, and if she does, she'll always know where she is and will always be able to find her. Now, Tara's mom is really hallucinating after drinking some vampire blood, and she thinks she sees Tara, but of course, Tara, is dead, so obviously she doesn't see Tara, so that was pretty creepy. So Pam then finds a man named Najat, and he gives him a wad of money, and the man offers to let Pam feed on his daughter, as children blood is the only clean blood here. Now, Najat hands Pam a map, and she says he would never, but that the man says my information is accurate. He says what she has to do with the information, what she's to do with the information is up to her. Of course, she's trying to find Eric, so... Sookie then crawls into bed with Allside, and she apologizes because, you know, they had a huge fight and everything, and she then crawls into bed and says, I'm sorry, and everything, so everything's okay between them now, which is good. So Bill and Andy arrive in an old warehouse, and Bill says that the sick vampires have not been nesting here. Andy shouts Holly's name to the dark warehouse, but it seems as if nobody is there. Nobody seems to be there, and that's really intense there. So Vince and his gang arrive at the warehouse, which is littered with dead humans hanging from the ceiling, and that was really big. And then we finally see Holly and Arlene. They're being held in what looks like the dungeons of Fantasia, and morning is approaching, and basically, that's really big. So yeah, that's where they're being held. So, we're going to see what happens there. But morning's approaching, and Adylin, not wanting Jessica to die, invites her inside finally, and the vampire who was stalking the house then burns. Because, you know, morning approached, and she didn't want her to die, so she let her into her house. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. We'll have to see what happens, but it was really intense there, because, again, we had that really big fight, and I didn't know what was going to happen, and that was really awesome. So, Sookie then visits the church and says that nobody can go back to the way things were. She says that nobody in this town knows vampires better than her, and she says that she can help, please, and, you know, she can help. And basically, the biggest thing is that she finally reveals to them that she can read minds. She finally reveals that to them. She says, I can hear what all of you are saying. and she said, please, just help me, I want to help. And that's how the episode ended. And overall, I loved the episode. I thought it was really, really great. I thought it was a fantastic premiere, and I really loved it. A lot of violence in this episode, a lot of shit went down this episode, and a lot of things I am actually wondering about. First of all, as far as Sookie goes, do you think that Tara's actually dead? I don't think Tara's dead, because we didn't actually see her die, and I'm pretty convinced she's not dead, because, one, she's still in the main cast. She's in the cast as a main character. I don't think that Tara's dead. And plus, her mom was hearing her, so I don't think that she's dead. I guess we'll just have to see what happens there. As far as Sookie goes, how is Sookie going to get the help? I know she does want to get help from them, so how are they going to help her? We'll have to see what happens there. As far as Holly and Arlene go, what's going to happen with Holly and Arlene? We know they're being sort of like tortured, it seems. It's really intense there. It's going to be really awesome to see what happens between the two of them, because they're being tortured, as I heard. So it's going to be really awesome to see what happens there. And then, Bill, we'll have to see what happens with Bill and Andy. Yes, Bill did see a flashback, by the way, to the Civil War, which was pretty big. I thought that was interesting. Are people going to help Sookie? We'll have to see what happens there. And Pam. Do you think she's gotten the information that she needed about Eric? What is she going to do about Eric? Is she going to find Eric? Where do you think Eric is? What's going to happen there? We'll have to see. Jason and Violet, what do you think of that? I thought that was a good plot. I overall enjoyed that overall. But again, great premiere. Really enjoy it. Really looking forward to watching the show. I know it's the last season. I know it's a bad time to come in, but I really wanted to start watching the show. And I figured, now is the best time to start watching. And I really enjoy this show. I like the cast. I like the characters. I like the whole vampire aspect of it. The question is it better than the Vampire Diaries? I really don't know. I'm not going to compare the shows. I think they're two separate shows. They're not the same at all. They're two very separate shows. And that's basically it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Penny Dreadful. So see you guys for that. Okay, bye.